guys, my name is Renee and I am a good enough mom, and I love to share tips and tricks of making my life simpler and easier. And this week I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things that we have bought for our new homestead. Now usually I discuss how to declutter and get rid of things, so for me to share what I've bought is actually very unusual. But seeing as we've just moved to our new home, I'm finding there are quite a few things that we are needing that we don't have, that's unique to this home, or things that we had to leave at our own home and we do not have over here. So each of these things that we have purchased are things that I've already thought about and made a decision about buying them because I feel that we need them in our new lifestyle going ahead. So let's get started.
I think I'll start with the most boring, yet one of the most expensive things first. We got taps for our dishwasher and washing machine. Seeing as the house is really old and was used as a self-catering guest accommodation, it only had one small sink for washing up. Doing the plumbing was quite a big priority for the first week that we moved in. A water filtration system. Our water comes from a borehole, and although it is filtered and is fine to drink, there's a lot of calcium in the water that quickly deposits onto all the appliances that use the water and causes them to break. We added a water filtration system to remove the calcium and improve the longevity of our appliances. An aviary, herbs and vegetable seedlings. Yay! Now there is space to plant anything, so we got started with our garden. We got a wheelbarrow! Yippee! A real farm tool. And a fireplace. It's winter at the moment, and it has been a really cold winter. We also live in a valley and find that the temperature is about 4 degrees cooler in the valley than it was in town. Added to that, our roof doesn't have ceilings and our windows don't have curtains or blinds, so being able to put in a fireplace has made a huge difference to our home. It is a bit too small to make the room piping hot, but it does take the bite out of the air. A Midea single plate induction cooker. Before we moved into our home, it was used as self-catering guest accommodation. So it came with a stove and an oven, which will work well enough if you're on a holiday, but it is a bit small for a big family. Also, I prefer not to use electrical plates because they take so long to heat up. I'm used to using a gas stove, but seeing as we live a long way out of town, I prefer not to have to transport big heavy gas bottles. So induction seems to be a good alternative. It is also just as quick as a gas stove and uses less electricity than a conventional electric stove. After using it for some time, I must admit that I love it. Induction cooking uses electric currents to directly heat pots and pans through magnetic induction. The one downside is that not all pots and pans can be used on it. Only cast iron, steel, some enameled steel and stainless steel. So unfortunately my old pots and pans didn't work and I had to get new ones. So I got this set of pots and pans for super cheap, about 500 rand, which is about $35, and they are amazing. A shoe rack. One thing about living on a farmstead is that our shoes become very dirty. If it is dry outside, then we walk in a lot of dust and grass, and if it is rainy, then our shoes are all covered in mud. We often found that we'd have to leave our shoes outside to be cleaned before bringing them in. Instead of having a pile of shoes at the front door, we got a shoe rack. We got it from the Chinese shop for just 150 rand or $10. Perhaps it's not very politically correct to say Chinese shop, but it is a shop that is owned by a Chinese gentleman that sells goods mainly imported from China, and you get similar shops with similar goods all over South Africa. My daughter and I were able to put together this shoe rack really easily within a few minutes. It is very sturdy and it is able to hold our whole family's shoes. If the shoes are really muddy, they can stay outside for a few days for the mud to dry, and then we can easily brush off the dirt. We keep a brush by the shoe stand for this purpose. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. So now for the real deal.
Why are the boring things so expensive? Now there's so many things that I love to buy when I come to my new house and think, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it's going to be so pretty and this is going to be so lovely. But there are a few things that I have to buy that I really actually don't have much of a choice about. And it's those things that I have to buy that are really expensive. And they don't really seem to make any difference to the beauty of our home. Things like taps for dishwashers and washing machines. It's so boring, but I have to have it, and it's quite expensive to install. So I wish that we could get all the boring stuff out the way so that we can spend our money on things that we really love.